My name is Tania Kurbatoff. I'm from Christchurch, New Zealand, and I run a research institute called the Porcelain Institute, and we specialise in developing programs and initiatives to do with crisis management, post-conflict reconstruction and disaster recovery, with a specific target of the youth generation and trying to get them involved in reconstruction work and civic participation. And today I'm running a workshop called Communicating Through Art, Designing a Pathway to Sustainable Development. And what we're going to do is I'm going to walk the participants through a very simple process which teaches them to use single words, key images and specific colours to express their ideas and opinions, particularly to do with sustainable development and their vision of what a sustainable world would look like.
Okay. Can I have some few questions to ask?
Sure.
Like, how is it important to include disaster risk reduction management in a sustainable development framework?
I think it's very important. It's kind of one of those things that people don't like to spend a great deal of money on something just in case it goes wrong. But the statistics and the facts show that there's a huge increase in the last 20 years in major disasters wreaking havoc across the world. And the cost of recovery from a major disaster is about 7 times the amount that a government will put into economic growth and sustainable development policies. So the consequences of not including disaster risk management strictly from an economic point of view are quite large, but even from a social view, from an environmental view, and from a human life view, the costs outweigh.
Yeah. You lived in Christchurch, and there was a major earthquake that devastated your city. How did your government and how did you people from Christchurch handle the situation?
I think it was handled really well, considering the scope of the disaster and the amount of damage that was caused. One thing that I was involved in and that I think was a really positive outcome was the way that youth engaged in the policy process, and from a decision-making side as well as an implementation side. So it wasn't just youth being involved in volunteering, helping with cleanup, helping with rescuing of lives during the immediate aftermath, but we've also got youth sharing their ideas for the future city and sharing the potential that they can have in helping the rebuild process.
My last question would be, well, I'm working in the field of sexual and reproductive health, and emergency contraception is something that is not even considered in some or in most of the disaster reduction and in recovery efforts. So what are your thoughts on this?
I haven't really thought about it much, to be honest, but I have noticed, I don't have any statistical proof to back this up, but I have noticed since there are about 4 major earthquakes in Christchurch over the last 18 months, and from the very first earthquake onward, just in my personal circle of people, there have been a significant amount of births. So there were quite a few pregnancies as a result of the immediate aftermath of the first disasters. So I do think that's an area that needs to be looked at significantly. Yeah.
We are here in Rio, and we are only 350, and there are a lot of young people out there who can come here. What is your message for them?
My message is get yourselves informed. There's a lot of information available, but often we have to seek it out ourselves because of education systems and certain legislation and government priorities. We often aren't made aware of the dangers of the risks of sustainable development, and also the potential that we have to be involved in shifting our countries and our societies to sustainable development. So my biggest push and encouragement would be to get informed, become aware of the issues, and start dreaming of creative solutions and engage with the policy process if you can, share your ideas with local MPs and make your voice heard.